But it's fine. Still gonna be good. It's fine. Well, my favorite. ASMR. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. That's not good. That's not a good sign. Alexa, turn it down one more notch. That's better. A little chalky, but it's fine. It's fine. What's going on, guys? So we are way overdue for a new podcast, and I'm so sorry. Life happens. Gosh, life happens, and it comes at you fast. For those of you that are new here, I own a gym. I am a mom. I am now an official exclusive Alphalete athlete. I'm 1 in 40, and that is a huge freaking deal. This happened because of Summer Shred last year. I talked about this in the previous episode, and I almost spilled my drink. We're just gonna move that out of the way. Life has just been wild, but in a good way wild. This episode is based on one of my tattoos, as usual. Scorpion, not a crawfish, not a lobster, a scorpion done by my favorite Angela. And then also, like, we got some other cool designs we got from Craig that are gonna come out soon. Just not gonna show you all of them right now. Yeah, anyways, so based off of Scorpion, don't let the sting of life kill you. This episode, we're gonna kind of touch base with childhood things, teenager things, adulthood things, business life, athlete life, mom life. So I'm just gonna kind of be all over the place. The main thing is, obviously, don't let the sting of life kill you. But what does that mean? To me, it means that if I quit every single time that something was hard, or I felt defeated, or I was hurt or broken, or whatever it may be, something I thought was just going to kill me at the time, like this awful breakups was just going to kill me at the time, I wouldn't be where I am today. I would not be where I am today. And that's something that I've been pondering a whole lot lately, especially after last week. I'll touch base on what last week was. I just kind of sat there and was like, wow, I looked at my past and I looked at where I am currently, and then I looked towards my future, and I'm just like, wow, how did we get here? How did we get here? I'm not mad about it. What's the purpose of all of this? Let's just kind of kick this off with something that I saw actually on Facebook the other day, and it kind of resonated exactly what I'm about to talk about. What I had read on Facebook was, sometimes to get your life back, you have to face the death of what you thought your life would look like. The other day, I was having a really emotional day, and it was almost perfect timing for me to read this, because I was sitting there and I was like, if I could go back in time, my life right now is nowhere near what I thought it was going to be. I had all these plans, it was going to look this way, I was going to be this way, and, all of this stuff was going to be perfectly planned out, and we are so far from that plan. But some of the biggest blessings have come from that plan, or from not my own plan, let me put it that way. So I just, again, I was super emotional the other day, and I was like, man, this is all tying up at the perfect time for this podcast. Also, because my baby's turned 3 on the 13th. Oh my gosh. Where does the time go? It does not feel like it's been 3 years, but it has, and they're growing and they are thriving and they are wild and they get their stubbornness from me. So anyways, let's kind of revert back to some things and moments in my life that kind of shaped me, molded me, but at the same time, during those times, I was like, oh, this is going to be the end of me. When in fact, it only made me stronger. We're going to kick it back to childhood. I think I had touched base on this in episode 1. I had a good childhood. Mom and dad were there. My grandparents spoiled me. I always had a roof over my head. I always had food on the table. Never wanted for anything. But I wanted a better and closer relationship with my mom and my dad. My dad, it's not that he didn't want to be present, but he worked all the time and he worked out of town, And at that moment, obviously being a child, I couldn't understand why he was gone so much, but like now it makes me, work harder for my kids, because I only see now that he was working to build a better life for me. All the respect goes to that. My mom, if you don't know, passed away in 2012 in a drunk driving accident. My mother was an alcoholic. My mother dibble-dabbled in drugs. And she just kind of always seemed to end up at the wrong place at the wrong time. Never a steady relationship that I saw. My mother was abused. I saw that. That was like some pretty impactful stuff. On top of I grew up with my grandparents. My grandparents raised me. I lived with them up until middle school. During that transition from, grandparents to dad, there was a custody case involved in that, to where my dad ended up winning. Then in turn let me go stay with my mom, and then we ended up moving back. It was just kind of a cycle thing. I remember, specific times that, and I wanted that closeness with my mom and dad, but I really, really wanted that mother-daughter relationship. And I think I got more of a friendship, and which is not a bad thing. I missed out on mom always being there. She was definitely not the PTA mom. I'm probably not going to be the PTA mom either. There were times, and one in particular that I remember, that I got on the school bus and she sent me off. I don't think I heard from her for almost a month, and I don't think I saw her for almost 2 or 3 months. After that, didn't know where she was, and that was hard. Actually, as a young girl, not understanding why mom wasn't there, on top of dad being gone to work. But in that moment, had I let all of that define me, it's not like a jab, but kind of what most kids do, turn towards a different path. I was a creative then. I was in gifted art. I was in gifted. I thrived on creating something new or drawing something or whatever. I kind of channeled that into certain paths. I was also an athlete. So, I always had something to kind of keep me occupied. Did I know that was creating a huge abandonment issue that I currently battle now? We're working through that slowly but surely. Those are instances I can remember as a young child, and then I get into high school, and I remember being at parties I probably shouldn't have been at, where my mom was giving me alcohol. I was seeing things that I shouldn't have been seeing, or with people that were way older than me when I shouldn't have been. There was a lot of stuff that she let fly that should not have flown, and I could have taken that, and I could have taken a really destructive path. But again, I was a creative. I wanted more. High school, went on to community college, cheered at community college. Absolutely hated it. Not because I didn't love the sport, because I love the sport, just a certain leadership style was kind of hard. But, it is what it is, and I cheered and I loved it. But after that cheer season is when my mother passed away. I had to find something else that was going to fill the void in a way. But that's also when I found my love for fitness. Again, had I let that define me and turn me into a destructive path, or turn me toward a destructive path, I would not be where I am. Throughout, the last decade, why am I even saying that? The last decade of my life, I've been, learning a lot about myself, learning a lot about others. I think this probably has a little bit to do with ADHD, bipolar, not really sure. But I make very impulsive decisions. Sometimes that comes with relationships as well. Things that I jumped into that I should not have jumped into when I should have taken time, didn't. Inevitably, some things just can't be worked out. With a lot more effort on my end, or from both parties, honestly, probably could have been, but when you're playing tug of war, it doesn't work. On top of that, being diagnosed with bipolar, being diagnosed with depression, being diagnosed with ADHD, and then uncovering the abandonment issues and my attachment styles and things like that. That's a lot to process. Been steadily learning about it, steadily, talking it out. I journal every day now. So I'm able to kind of talk myself through this stuff instead of having to just blurt it all out. Had I let, my first marriage define me, situation with my boys, had I let that define me, had I let my second marriage define me, I wouldn't be where I am. I joke all the time, like with my dad, I'm like, you raised a man. I am very alpha. I don't like to say that, like, because I feel like that like almost like tries to talk me up when I don't mean it that way. I'm very hard-headed, I'm very strong-willed, I have like goals and ambitions, and you're either with it or you're not. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that I just have to learn communication in which to express those things versus being like, hey, this is what's up. Get on the ship or get off. Should I have let that stuff completely demolish me, like at some point it almost did in all three situations, I would not be where I am. Like, it stung, it sucked, it didn't kill me. And I'm still here, and now like I can look back and find the silver lining in everything. I can say, okay, like, well, that was the purpose of this is what that taught me. I feel like if we can ever get to the point where, you know, instead of like programming our brain to be like, hey, this sucks, let's stay in it, this sucks, to, hey, this sucks, but what is it teaching me? I feel like the suck doesn't last as long. It's something I encourage you to do. It's something I try to do. Like, when something doesn't pan out, like, I'm like, okay, that didn't work, but what did I learn from it, and what can I do to prevent that when moving forward? I know I had recapped kind of last year, like on prep and kind of the mental there with that. This year, again, like I had said earlier in the video, we are now an exclusive Alphalete athlete, which has like always been one of my biggest dreams. Last week, got flown out to Houston, got to meet all of the other athletes, had the best time, because like these are people that they're creative, they want more for themselves, they push to be better, and like the whole thing with Alphalete is learn more, dream more, be more. That's what I want to do, you know, like I want to live that, because I kind of already did, but I want a little bit more, you know. So to be able to like surround myself with people that have like-minded, you know, goals and ambitions has been and was an incredible experience. And, you know, there's lots more things to do like that in the future. I also have that, and I'm also blessed to have it here at home with friends. I now have a great relationship with my father. We have so many big goals and dreams with my gym. The community that's like built and thrived within it has been insane over the last 2 years. There's one thing that I could just kind of tell all of my members, or, you know, like my friends see it, my dad sees it, but like, I mean, honestly, if I could tell anybody, you know, like, things happen for a reason, as cliche as it sounds. Everything that happens, good or bad, always has a lesson. It can't stop you. Like, it cannot stop you in your tracks. Stop you in your tracks if it's bad. It can't stop you in your tracks if it's good, because if you become stagnant, complacency kills, per the academy. Life is so, like, it has so much to offer, and we would be not utilizing, you know, we would, how do I word that? We would be doing ourselves a disservice if we were not utilizing every moment to create the life that we want. Again, back to last week, like, there were so many things going on. You know, we were out at Alphaland. If you know me, you know Alphaland is like my Disney World of gyms, and because every time I go studying people, I'm watching people, or I'm looking at like what they've got going on, I'm like, okay, like, now how can I incorporate this back home in my own style? It's so awesome to be out there and just kind of like see what's going on. And like, I got to experience on an even closer level, which was even more cool. During that time, like I just got to reflect on my past, you know, where I currently am, what I hope to see in the future. And like the biggest thing that kept sticking out to me, which I knew the drop was coming, like, had I let these things stop me or hold me back or cut me down, I wouldn't be where I am. And sometimes I don't give myself enough credit for that. I'm a mom. I'm a single mom of 2 twin boys. I'm a single mom of twin boys. I don't know why I always say 2. They are now 3. Took them to dinner the other night for their birthday, where we had spent an hour and a half jumping at the trampoline park. It was with my dad and my 2 best friends, and like, it was chaos. All right, like, for anybody that like tries to come at me, you know what, I got twin boys, so I can handle my own. All right, that's another thing I do kind of want to touch on. There have been so many comments you don't spend time with your kids. I'm not this type of mom. And so I always ask why you're gone, or why you do this, or why you do that. Just because I'm a mom doesn't mean I can't still live out my dreams and ambitions. The focus of all of my dreams and ambitions are building a legacy for my children. That is they are my why. They are, no, I don't like to leave them for a week. But I'm FaceTiming them, or I'm keeping up with them. Dad is sending pictures of them. Of course I miss my baby. Secondly, it ain't nobody's business where I am or what I'm doing. I have my kids 80% of the time. I don't know why that irks me so much. Like, roles were reversed. Like, it wouldn't be that way. I'm thankful to have a great co-parenting relationship. Some people just need to mind their own business. Just point blank. There are so many things that I just look back and I'm like, had I been stopped or, whatever, like I wouldn't be able to experience this stuff. I wouldn't be able to give my children the life that they have, plans that I have for them. Like, yes, more than anything, I want a family. I want a loving home because, everybody wants a loving home. Because of the past, I saw how I grew up, or like how things made me feel. Like, yes, I want my babies to come home. They're loved. And that can be just me with somebody. More importantly, like I want it to be a healthy home. In the past, I was so broken that, that was like pulling teeth. I should have gone to therapy. I should have done all this stuff prior to even getting into another relationship or marriage. Things happen. You don't forget, but you forgive, you apologize, and you try to move forward the best that you can. Hopefully I found peace in that. I want certain things in my life to pan out. Yes, I do. But if it doesn't, I'm not going to let it kill me. It's not the end of the world. Because I can't. Because I am a mom. Yes, things suck, but, we suck it up and we keep going, because single moms are probably some of the strongest people I know. Same for single dads, but I don't know why that's such a touchy subject. I hope that from this episode, like, you guys can kind of see. Obviously, I didn't go through every trauma that I've ever had in my life, because that would be like a 2-hour-long episode. We live, we learn, we get burned, we learn some more, we get stung. We just make it. It all works out. We just make it. And like, that takes the right people in your life. People that we want are not always the right people. The right people stick around through the hard. Again, I've been blessed with that in both my, personal relationships and my work relationship. Life has been crazy, life has been chaotic, but it has been beautiful to watch it unfold. Again, I hope that you kind of take away from this video to understand that, no matter what you're going through, it's all gonna work out. We don't let the sting kill us. 2, be yourself. The right people will fall into your life. Going to pick you apart. They're not going to want to change you. You are exactly where you are meant to be. You are exactly with the people that you need to be around when you need to be around them. Some stay, some don't. Everything happens for a reason. Through the sting, through all of that, you grow. You grow. I don't want to say you build a tolerance to it. At the same time, it's kind of like getting a tattoo. First tattoo, you're like, oh my gosh. The more you get tattoos, the more you're like, all right, that's cool. Bring on whatever. But you do. You kind of just, you don't go numb. You just build a tolerance to letting things hurt you so much, think it's going to kill you, that you learn to grow from it. Episode, I'm kind of rambling. I hope to be pumping this out a lot more because I have started to delegate tasks. If you know me, you also know that I'm an OCD freak. Things that I like handled a certain way. But again, back to those work relationships, I've built a team that helps me bring all of that to life without me having to be there so much. That I can put my heart a little bit more into this, as well as, growing myself. I am my brand. I want to be able to stick around with Alphalete. I want heavy metal to go far. I want the Mecca to thrive. It takes a lot of growth, and the more I pump into one thing at a time, the more things get done. So again, I'm having to delegate, I've now got certain days where I do content or I'm doing computer work or whatever, but I am going to start carving out time at least once a month to get these podcasts out, because I know I feel like I'm rambling to somebody, and even if it's just one person out of 50 people that watch it, one person gets something from it, then it's worth it. Also, With podcasts moving forward, I will start to have guests, and I'm super excited about that because I feel like instead of me just kind of like talking to the camera, like I actually get to have like in-depth conversation with people to actually see what's on their heart. So I will be bringing on my first guest this next podcast. Excited for that. So have a rockin' day, rockin' week, and remember that if it's heavy on the mind, it's heavy in the hands. That's what this is about. So see you guys later.